Kylie gets a text from my mom the other day, and the text is basically saying she has my nephew. We'll call him Jim. My nephew Jim is with my mom, right? He came to visit from the South, from Georgia. I guess he has this thing, Jim does. He's 14 years old. He wants to meet everybody in the family, which is an honorable goal, right? I'm down. I want to meet too, I want to encourage that. That's pretty cool. He's my brother's kid. Now, all of my siblings are on the outside of the religion. They're not Jehovah's Witnesses anymore, including my brother. And my brother raised his kid to be aware of just how dangerous and damaging Jehovah's Witnesses are. But he was never inside the religion, so my mom justifies to herself talking to him. So she goes down there to Atlanta, picks him up, comes back up to the Northeast to hang out with him. He wants to meet me, so she texts Kylie and tells Kylie that she wants to meet me somewhere nearby so that I can meet my nephew Jim. I have to take a train out of New York City to meet her, but I do it. It was like an hour and a half. Well, it was closer to an hour and 15 minutes travel time going from New York City outside to meet him. But I was down, I want to meet him. So I go up there and I'm trying to communicate with my mom through text to, figure out where they are, what's happening, and where we're going to meet and all that. And instead of texting me back, she texts the answers that she had to the questions that I asked. She texts them to Kylie instead. That's already getting under my skin. So when we get up there, we end up meeting in a parking garage. And my mom, talks to me for a second. She says, "Hey, I heard you got married," because, Kylie told her that I had gotten married, and she was asking about my ring and all this other stuff. And I was just giving her basic answers, I got married, and told her where, Central Park, so on and so forth. And she says, "Okay, well, let's go to a restaurant nearby or something." So we pick out a Taco Bell, and we go to this Taco Bell, right? And we get to the Taco Bell, and, I'm talking to my nephew Jim the whole time, just chit-chatting about whatever. His interests and my interests and all that stuff. Like I said, he's 14, so he's into, not just computers, but microchip stuff. He wants to electronics and things. He has breadboards and he builds circuit boards and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. So anyways, we get to the Taco Bell. It's pouring outside. And I say to my mom, "Are you ready to go in? I actually have an umbrella in the back." And I pull the umbrella up. It's a rainbow umbrella. And it's Pride Month. And I was like, you know what? If she wants to use this umbrella, I'm not going to let her get away with this. I'm going to drive this home. Either she is going to use this umbrella knowing that what she's doing while using this umbrella is supporting the LGBT community by displaying an LGBT pride umbrella on her way into this building during Pride Month, or she's going to get her fucking head wet. So I drove this home. I was like, you're free to use the umbrella. I have a hood. I don't need an umbrella. We'll walk in. You can have a dry head, but you have to be aware you're showing that you're supporting the LGBT community by using this umbrella. You know that, right? And she did not like that. She got fucking upset. She's like, "Fine, I'll have a wet head then." And she walked in with no umbrella. And Jim was like, "I'll use it." So I give the umbrella to Jim. My mom is so dead set on not expressing or not even hinting at the possibility that she might support the LGBT community. She's so dead set on it, she won't even use a fucking umbrella. And I knew that was going to be the case when I drove that home. That's why I wanted to make that point. I wanted to make sure that Jim was fully aware of who this woman is. So, no problem. She doesn't want to use the umbrella. She doesn't have to. But if she does want to use it, I'll make sure she is fully aware. She's supporting the LGBT community while she's at it. So we go inside and we sit down and we're talking, you know. I don't remember how this came up, but we were sitting there eating and I said, I'm surprised you decided to sit with me here. You know, the Bible supposedly says you're not even supposed to dine with such a man who doesn't believe in God. And here we are. And she was like, Owen, if you're going to push this, then I'm not going to eat with you. And she shoved the food over to me. And I was like, look, I'm just telling you what the Bible says, right? Like, you don't have to get upset. I want you to sit here and eat with me. So anyway, she finishes her food. We get back in the car, and we start driving back to the parking garage. I'm taking her back to her car. And that's when things went south. Kylie actually got a video of what happened next, but she only caught part of it. She didn't catch the whole thing. So I'll fill in the gaps as we watch. We're driving in the car, driving along, and then this happens. There's a dividing line here.
That's correct.
Dividing line is, you don't like who I am.
No, I love you. I don't like
Who I am.
any
An apostate.
apostate crapola. Then you don't like that about me.
No, I do. I'm okay with you.
You love it that I don't like apostate.
No,
right?
I want you to be in my life, even as a Jehovah's Witness.
I want you to be in my life, even as a disfellowship person.
Perfect. So basically, my mom is telling me now she doesn't want anything to do with me. And of course, I've known that this entire time. I've known this for 15 years because I've been doing my absolute best to foster a relationship with my mom. And for some inexplicable reason, it always fails. For some unknown reason, we can never manage to create a relationship together, despite the fact that I try to. From age 18 to 31, the reason she gave was because I was disfellowshipped. Age 32, how old I am now, she finds out I'm an apostate, and she says, I'm okay with talking to disfellowship people. I could have a relationship with you. That's totally fine with me. It's that you're an apostate. Moving the goalposts. She will always find a reason to not be in my life. I went through some pretty bad shit when I was a kid at the hands of my father. She was there through it and actually stood up and physically defended me through some of that. You know, I remember standing there, and my dad is like running toward me to attack me, and my mom stepped in front of him. I'm like 14 years old, you know? And he puts his hand on her shoulder and pushes her to the ground and runs at me anyways. She falls flat on her ass. That's the kind of experience that she and I share. This is the kind of thing that we experienced together, like straight up physical abuse, like beyond abuse. And she can't find it in herself to talk to her own son, even though I'm disfellowshipped. For 14 years, she used the disfellowshipped excuse. And suddenly, once I'm an apostate, she says, if only you were just disfellowshipped, I could talk to you. What happened to the 14 years before that? Before I was an apostate in her mind. What happened to those years? So let's keep listening to the video.
I want you to be in my life, even as a disfellowship person.
Perfect.
Not
No hang-ups
apostate.
then.
I cannot do apostate.
I don't
period.
need to talk about anything Jehovah's Witness related
Yeah, but
with
you've
you.
been poking at me the whole time.
I was genuinely sick of her pushing this blame off onto me and telling me it's my fault we can't talk. If I loved Jehovah, then she would talk to me again. I was fucking sick of it. I'm sick of hearing that shit. So I decided to push her until she admitted that it was her that was causing these hang-ups. Let's keep listening.
I cannot do apostate.
I don't
period.
need to talk about anything Jehovah's Witness related
Yeah, but
with
you've
you.
been poking at me the whole time. shoving your pride crap in my face.
I just want to make sure that she's fully aware she's supporting the LGBT community by using a rainbow umbrella during Pride Month. That's all. I wasn't going to let her get away with anything on this trip.
And everybody
You
in the car
hate
is
Jehovah.
clear. I don't give a shit about Jehovah. Who is Jehovah? It's a made-up pretend thing.
I was pissed off at this point. I was completely under control leading up to this. I was fucking sick of it at this point. This is probably a 5-minute conversation, and Kylie only managed to capture a couple minutes of it. So sadly, we lost a lot of it, but you guys will get the idea anyways. I was sick of hearing her say that I hate Jehovah. I fucking can't stand that. I don't believe in Jehovah. That's like me sitting there telling you, you hate Allah. You can't stand Allah. You're angry at Allah. Who the fuck cares about Allah? Like, nobody fucking believes this shit in this car. Why do you keep saying that I hate Jehovah? I don't hate Jehovah. It's fucking made up. Anyways, let's continue. I'm getting worked up over here.
It's a made-up pretend thing.
Okay.
I don't hate something that doesn't exist
For you.
at all. There's
Doesn't
literally
exist
zero
for
evidence
me.
that it exists.
It's every evidence.
Okay.
It's every evidence. What the fuck is she talking about? This fucking kills me. Part of this is comical. Part of this conversation here kind of cracks me up because it's so fucking ridiculous. Let's keep listening.
Every evidence.
Okay.
The fact that you breathe and speak is
I meant
evidence.
to take it right there and I missed it. I don't hate Jehovah. I just want... You know what? I should have gone straight. Okay, so I think we've established you don't want to be in my life.
We have established that because
She absolutely refuses to admit that it's her hang-up, her fault. She's the one stopping us from having a relationship. And I wanted to hammer it home and make sure that she and I and everybody else in the car knew exactly who was stopping the relationship from moving forward. That's why I wouldn't give up on this. Let's keep listening.
You don't want to be in my life
we have established that because
because of who I am.
you're apostate. That is correct.
Okay, I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. You're the hang-up.
No, I'm happy. I'm in a
In
good
your
life.
life without me.
You're the one who makes me miserable.
You're the one that makes me miserable, is what she just said. You're the one that makes me miserable.
By insisting on being something that you know is repulsive to me.
You are making me miserable by insisting on being something that is repulsive to me. Imagine your mother saying that to you. Imagine you sitting there in a car with your mom and she turns to you and says that shit. You are repulsive to me and you make me miserable by existing, by being who you are.
I think it's pretty clear to everybody. Now,
I don't
I'm
care.
happy.
You make it look however you want.
I'm not making it look like anything.
Whatever.
I wanted to make sure that everybody, including me particularly, I wanted to hear her say that she feels that it's my fault and that she is the hang-up. I didn't want to let her get away with pushing it off onto me anymore. And I guess I got what I wanted.
That you're saying are pretty rough, and I know you don't
I
see
think
that.
the things you're saying are pretty rough.
What? What was it?
What did I say? I didn't say anything. I was using a Socratic reasoning method to lead her down logical paths and get her responses to questions, to logical questions. Answers that I knew she was going to give me. I know she feels that I'm repulsive. I know that she thinks that I am making her miserable by existing. I knew those things. But the thing that I said that was rough in her eyes was just leading her down the path and extracting that information from her. Nothing more.
What? What was it that I said that you felt was pretty rough? You just
fact
turning it
that
on me, projecting.
Oh, just leave it alone.
What was it? What did I say was pretty rough? I want you in my life, Ma.
Well, I don't want to be in the life of an apostate. I'm very sorry. That's it.
Okay, I know that.
Now
I was just making
clarify.
sure it was
It's
clear.
over.
Okay. when you're ready to be in my life, if that time ever comes, you have a place
I'm
in my
looking
apartment.
forward to the system.
I'm looking forward to the new system. Now that's where the video ends, but I'll give you a little bit more. What happened next was we arrived at the place. She gets out of the car. Oh, by the way, leading up to this, before the video actually started, the thing that inspired Kylie to start recording, she was so angry with me. I guess for poking at her about the pride thing and for poking at her about dining with an apostate. She actually was about to open the door in the car to get out. We weren't even to the garage. We were pulling up to a red light, not even stopped, and she was trying to open the door to get out of the car, to get away from me, an apostate. That's what led up to Kylie recording. As we pull up to the garage, she's getting out of the car. She says, I'm looking forward to the new system when I'll have people around me who love me. And I said, you have people who love you now. I am just a couple hours away, and I love you, and I want to be in your life. And she said, in the new system, I will have a new son, a better son, who doesn't make me miserable. Imagine your mom saying some shit like that to you. I don't even know what else, what do I even say to that? She got out of my car, got into her car, and we left. What else is there to say? Everything has been said. I make her miserable by existing. And in the new system, she'll have a new son who's better. What else needs to be said there? Nothing. That's it. It's all been said. I talk to my mom about once a year, or once every couple of years. I mean, 2 or 3 years have passed in between, sometimes. But every time it happens, either I am super submissive and I don't say a word to upset her, and we just go about our business like everything is normal, and we just do what we need to do, you know? And then we go back to not talking again. Or some huge blow up like this happens. This time, I was sick of her pinning it on me. I am fucking sick of it. I want her and everybody around, and myself, to know exactly who is ending this relationship. Who is the hang-up here? And I feel that everybody knows now. I don't know exactly what I gained from that, but here we are. I don't know that it did any good. I got the answer I was looking for. But at what cost? Frito, it's funny how they say they will love us for who we are if we just change who we are. Yeah, isn't that funny? I will love Kylie no matter what. You know, Kylie was drawing like pride flags on her hand the other day. She was bored sitting there. She had a bunch of different colored markers, and she was just drawing like rainbow pride flags on her wrist or whatever. And I saw it and I was like, you're not LGBT, are you? And she starts chuckling madly and says no. I have no reason to doubt that. Like, why would I doubt that? She knows that I'm not gonna like be upset or anything. If anything, I'd be like the most supportive person alive. But I just was thinking like how lucky she is to have a family who will absolutely accept her for who she is no matter what. You know, she doesn't have to worry about being gay and hiding it from her family. If she wanted to come out and tell us that she is gay or whatever, we would accept it. No questions asked. That I don't have that same luxury. I've never had that same luxury. Of course, I'm not gay or anything, but my mom won't even accept me for who I am now, and I'm not breaking any Jehovah's Witness commandments, aside from talking poorly about the organization. I'm not committing adultery. I'm married. I don't smoke weed. I don't do drugs. I don't even drink. I guess the one thing that I do that would be violating the laws of the religion is I smoke an e-cigarette to help me get off of real cigarettes, which I quit a long time ago, and I have ear piercings. That's about it. What else do I do that's against the rules? Nothing. I just live my life and do my thing. And she still fucking hates me. still feels that I make her life miserable by existing. And she is waiting for the day when I die and she gets a new son who doesn't make her miserable. Precious81, hi, congratulations on getting married. Hope one day you and your mother can be a family. Stay strong. Well, I appreciate that. Like I said, what else is there to say to her? What can I add to the conversation with my mom that will change things? Nothing. It is what it is. She's disgusted, repulsed by me. Use her word. She's repulsed by me. And I make her miserable by existing. What else do you add? What can I add to that? And what could she add? Sydney Adnapaz, not to seem insensitive, but does that new son thing come from the book of Job? Because that book ended with Job getting a whole new family because he lost his old one. No, I don't think so. I think the plan is that she's going to make it through Armageddon and come into the new system, aka Garden of Eden 2.0. And she's going to remarry a new man because my dad was unfaithful and they got divorced scripturally. That's the only reason for divorce, is if somebody cheats. And that means she's free to remarry. So she can remarry some new person and have a bunch of kids with him. That's her plan in the new system, aka Garden of Eden 2.0. She sounds like a fucking nutbag. Saddest part is she's burning up the last few years she has on this earth, wishing she wasn't on this earth, wishing that she wasn't near me. She'll spend the last of her days wishing that I wasn't her son. And I'm gonna have to live with that for the rest of my life. I wanted an answer. I wanted her to just come out and say it. It's your fault. I fucking hate you and you repulse me. I wanted her to just say those words so that she would stop dancing around it and blaming everybody around her but her. I don't know what I gained from that, but I got what I wanted, I guess.